Hi, my name is Christina Harity. I will be reading for Lori Trahan. Climate change is real, and it is an existential threat to our country and our planet. Every day that passes without Congress taking swift, bold action to tackle this issue is a day wasted and a detriment to our children and grandchildren. Thanks to a full spectrum of reporting from scientific experts, non-governmental organizations, and international organizations alike, including our Department of Defense, we know the windows of opportunity to take meaningful action to cut carbon emissions and put us on the right track towards saving our planet is closing fast. Achieving climate justice is not a nice to have, it's a must have. That is why I am a proud co-sponsor of the Green New Deal legislation to signal loud and clear that Congress must act to transition our country to clean and reusable energy while creating jobs for American workers. We don't have to make the false choice between saving our planet or growing our economy for everyone. We can and we will do both. Thank you, Sunrise Westford, for your tireless activism on this. Together, we will tackle climate change as we have every other important issue, one voice at a time.
This event, the Sunrise Movement, Indivisible Westford, Parish Church United. Bear with me with the wind. I just have a little assistant here, so I appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you for inviting me today. Today we gather to address one of the most important issues of our time, the warming of our planet and our collective response to this quickly approaching crisis. The simple, overwhelming fact is that climate change and global warming is real, and it is a threat to both our country and the nations of our world. Given the current occupant of the Oval Office, who, like a modern-day Nero, who fiddled while Rome burned, this president tweets while the planet warms and the temperatures rise. Averse to any attempts at bilateral or multilateral actions in the global arena, he is content to act unilaterally in accordance with the whims of his mood, and withdrew our nation from the Paris Climate Accord. As the atmospheric temperature rises ever so higher, he is content to deny the existence of this threat and pretend it's not real, and certainly not caused by human activity. So what is at stake for us and future generations of Americans in the world as the Earth's climate changes? We can expect more extreme weather events to occur across the planet. These storms will be more severe and cause more damages than ever before. More people will be impacted, more homes and properties destroyed, more people and families displaced, and unfortunately, more lives will be lost. In addition, these megastorms and their dreadful impacts, these changes to our environment will not stop there. Many of the world's glaciers will melt as well, which serve as the sole source of drinking water for over 300 million people on our planet. The melting of the polar caps will release millions of gallons of additional water into our oceans. It is estimated that the world's sea levels could rise an additional 30 feet from this extra water being released by the melting ice. This event, once it occurs, will devastate our coastlines and change our geography forever, impacting major cities and populations, not only on our two major coasts, but in every maritime nation in the world. This is the future. If we don't act now and act decisively, the time for debate is over. Scientific fact is just that. It's fact. Well over 90% of scientists agree that climate change is a threat to our future. And this evidence requires us to address this issue for the people of our planet, knowing that these events will occur if we fail to act. So what do? First, it starts with new leadership for our nation. We need a president willing to work with other nations in a cooperative, global manner. to address this international and human issue, like rejoining the Paris Climate Accord. This must be our first priority. Second, when this change is made and the United States rejoins the nations of the world and abandons unilateralism, we can seek a global solution to this crisis. The facts are that China is the world's worst offender overall. But the United States is a close second. And per capita, we are the biggest contributor to carbon emissions in the atmosphere. It is simple logic to see that we cannot address this issue alone, and it must be an effort by the entire world to save our planet, an effort that takes into account each nation's contribution to this problem and each nation's contribution to the solution. Here at home, we can act as well. We can reduce carbon emissions by making those who pollute pay for the pollution. We can reduce carbon emissions through renewable energy sources like wind, hydro, and solar. We can invent technologies and ways to capture and sequester carbon already in the atmosphere. And we can make economic investments in green technology and green jobs. We can support state initiatives and actions in Massachusetts supporting climate resiliency legislation that the House of Representatives just recently passed to help our state and communities address the impacts of climate change, which will affect us here at home. We can pass environmental justice and toxic reduction legislation. We can pass a transition to 100% renewable energy of our state by 2045. And we can pass carbon pricing legislation to provide incentives to transition to renewable energy and support green infrastructure. And yes, we can gather in towns across our state to fight and lead this battle. When there is no leadership on this issue to be found in the White House, climate change is everyone's battle. But it will affect the next generation in the most profound way. Real change will come from groups like Sunrise Movement Westford and others of your generation who must lead the charge and spearhead the fight and win this battle to save this planet for our futures. It's the fight of our lives. Thank you.